Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Gotham Knight channel. I am your host, Apple, and I want to thank you all for joining us again in Gotham City. And hopefully, you guys are all doing well. I know this past week I have been a little bit slow on the news, and I wanted to go ahead and get this podcast out. Work has been definitely hectic, and I want to go ahead and get you guys caught up on some of the news that's going around. There's not really movie news really for the Batman, because of the whole shutdown with Robert Patterson and some of the other crew members testing positive for COVID. But I want to go ahead and get this podcast out and touch base on some of the news that's out there. And some of the news that's making the rounds is about Ben Affleck. And Ben Affleck, his movie, his version of Batman, which I think every Bat fan out there will agree that it's a really good Batman. I think he hit the nail on the head, and I hope Ben Affleck is this part is true about the news that's coming out. Is that his Batman is set to return to Hbomax, not only in the Justice League and not only in the Flash film, but also having his own Batman movie with the main villain being Deathstroke. And a lot of us want to see that. Now, I can't pronounce his name very well. I'm so bad with name, guys. I murder names like the Joker does his villains. I really murder names. So is Joe Manganiello, I believe, or Manganiello? I can't even say it, but that dude's cool. I mean, he's a nerd, and plus he started in a Spider-Man movie, and now he's Deathstroke, so dude's cool, man. So that film, I think what they're trying to do right now is anticipate the success of the Justice League. If that's very successful, I think we're going to see an announcement very soon after about Ben Affleck's Batman film coming out on HBO Max. And then after that, I think that's going to change a little bit of the Flash movie, because what a lot of people have said is that the Flash movie will be Ben Affleck's big goodbye, which I think that the Snyder Cut is going to be very well received. I think HBO Max is going to want this to go further, because they're going to need that for HBO Max, just like how The Mandalorian has done for Disney Plus. And it can be. I honestly wish AT&T chose a different name for HBO Max, because something different, something that's just not. It seems like they locked themselves in to just saying HBO Max. It could have been so much more with so much diversity that what AT&T owns. So that's my own personal opinion. So with that, if we're able to get that film, hopefully we do get to see a lot more Ben Affleck's Gotham City. I would really love to see that. I think what we've kind of saw in Zack Snyder's Batman versus Superman was a little bit taste of it, and I really enjoyed it. I wanted to see more of it, and hopefully that does come to fruition, because I definitely want to see that. I think we all want to see that. Another bit of news that's out there is, of course, on the video game side. Now, on the video game side, Gotham Knights Game.com, of course, has launched, and it has all their updates. And now, I've told you my thing about this game is I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna love it. It just reminds me a lot of Joel Schumacher's take on Batman, and the colors and the way it is. And I'm not hating. I'm just telling you that's what it reminds me of. But yeah, so they got a lot of cool new updates. They have where it says join the Knights, and you can leave your email there. and they have a brief description of the game. It says Batman is dead. A new expansive criminal underworld has swept the streets of Gotham City. It is now the Batman family, Batgirl, Nightwing, Red Hood, and Robin, to protect Gotham. Bring hope to its citizens, discipline to its cops, and fear to its criminals. From solving mysteries that connect the darkest chapters in the city's history to defeat notorious villains in epic confrontations, you must evolve into the new Dark Knight and save the streets from descent into chaos. Gotham Knights is an open world action RPG set in the most dynamic and interactive Gotham City yet. In either solo play or with another hero, patrol Gotham's 5 districts, boroughs, and drop in on criminal activity wherever you find it. Your legacy begins now. Step into the night. So that's their tagline, and they said the 5 boroughs. I mean the 5 districts. So one, of course, we know from Batman and comics, we know that of course there's the boroughs. There's got to be Arkham Asylum in there, right? There's got to be a chemical plant area. So we have that. And I wonder, in the boroughs that were discussed in Batman Begins, that wasn't where Crime Alley was. So I'm wondering if they're going to break that down and have that in the game, because that's usually always there. So that's 4 that we can really count on right there. And then maybe like a port, usually Amusement Mile, the Joker's hangout is usually around there. So that's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out. But yeah, but you have Robin, Red Hood, Batgirl, and Nightwing, and I think a lot of us are gonna be playing with Red Hood. I'll probably play with Nightwing. I'm not gonna touch Robin or Batgirl. They're just, that Robin is not, the little cape. I don't know. It just, I don't know. I'm just not feeling that. So, but you definitely want to stay on to their website for any updates and anything that may come from them as far as updates to the game and when it comes out. Now, it does say that it will be releasing on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, PC, digital. So it's going to be on every game format. So this is, of course, what we call a Class A title that's going to have a lot to do. One of the things is where they ask you to be part of the conversation. They started putting their Discord. So their Discord is available for you to join besides their usual regular media from YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I usually stay on their Discord to see if there's anything new and anything coming from them. But yeah, check their website if you have time to check that out. The next big thing is, of course, in comics. And in comics, Batman 99 launched this week. And I'll give you a brief description of it. The Joker War, part 5 of 6, which means this ends with issue 100. Things have changed as Batman realized he can't fight this war alone. He's going to need help before he faces down the Joker. He must call up his trusty partner, Dick Grayson. But can Dick reclaim his lost memories in time to join the battle? So, I think James Tinian, man, I told you, I'm murdering these names, guys. I'm just murdering them. And George Jimenez just such wonderful, beautiful art. And more so than art, the storytelling that he's got to tell with James is, I mean, they're hitting out of the ballpark. I know this issue wasn't the best, and I don't want to give go out of the spoilers, but this is where James Tynion is just wrapping up the story with this issue to come with the cliffhanger that's going to be shocking, right? So that's what everything leads to, is, reading 100 and what the big thing that's coming out of there. So I don't want to spoil it. The book just came out. We'll definitely do a whole review of this series once it's complete. I've thought about doing individual books. The reason why I did the Three Jokers is that's under the Black label, and the stories are a little bit longer. Plus, they're not as fast as these. So that's going to be something fun to go through. Not just because I love the Joker, but because it's just going to be fun. But you definitely want to check out this book. This run that has been leading into to issue 100, the Joker War, has been really, really good. I love Zack Snyder. I love his writing. I think Tom King writing was really good too. And of course, he's had his issues with fans and what he's done with Comic Gates, and it's a whole other thing and a whole other discussion. But James Tynion, he's really stepped it up, and these new characters that have come out have been how do I describe this, guys? I know typical, breath of fresh air, but more so a new wind in Gotham City, I guess, to the characters that he's created. So he's done really an amazing job, and I hope with time people get to see that. Zack Snyder's brilliance when he just touched the book really came right out the bat with Court of Owls, and you knew Zack was definitely on coming into a different level. He had just came from Marvel. I forgot what he was writing, and I had the chance to interview him long time ago, and talk to him back in San Diego, before he took over. What issues did he do before Batman? When I was young, I could remember at a drop of a dime, and now I think it was Robin. I think he was writing Robin when he came over to DC, and I met him, and I was like, man, this cat is gonna be pretty good. Like, I really think that the take that he has is definitely coming from a different place. And when he finally got a hold of it, and when they announced that he was going to be teaming up with Greg Capullo, I was like, oh my goodness. I love Greg. Greg is one of my buddies. I love him and his family. Such beautiful, beautiful people. If you haven't been able to keep up with Greg Capullo or follow him, definitely follow him on social media and follow this man. He's one of the artists, and he I know he gets really I get him really embarrassed when I say this, but he's one of the guys that I look up to when I was coming into this world, this industry, because I loved his art. Him and Todd just conveyed to me art-wise. And when they announced that Greg was coming to DC and he was going to be working on Batman, man, that is just dreams come true. And here we are. When they started was in 2011. Here we are in 2020, and his last book is almost about to come out. You're talking about a good 10 years that I've had Greg touch Batman. I'm so happy. I'm happy, but I'm also going to be equally happy everything that he's done in comics. And he knows this, and I tell him all the time. And what I'm able to do as far as my comic book show, I really dedicate that to him and Todd, and Definitely Bill Finger and Bob Kane. Those guys were my inspiration to do a lot of this stuff. And like I said, there's some Marvel I love, like Daredevil and Hulk, but my guy in my world is Batman, and that's what I gravitate to since I was a kid. And I've always think, the people that have been responsible. You always say that, and I'm a church going person. If you're not, you're not. But it's not say there's no idols that you worship, and there's no idols that I don't worship. But there are definitely people that have inspired me that I do look up to be a better person, to be professional. And Greg is one of those guys. I love Greg. He's one of the people that when you meet in this world, and there's a lot of great people that you meet in comics, in the comic book world. Greg's just one of them. Early on in his career, I think of people a lot, some as a tough guy in the way it looks, because that's the way Wizard portrayed him. And he is definitely a guy who rocks every page, and definitely a guy I look up to. So I love Greg. I love Greg till the end of time, and his art is just amazing. I'm just talking about the man, but his art is amazing. And the next steps that he has from here, I know he's going to be leaving with death metal, and him and Scott are going to be going to do other things. I really hope he brings back Creech. That's his character, and that's a character that I love, and I probably own more issues than I should of the same copy. But I love Greg Capullo, and that's my thing, right? So I love Greg. With that, since that series is going to be wrapping up too, I will do a whole series synopsis and everything that came down from the death metal run. So we will be talking about that on a future podcast or YouTube, and definitely cover that. One of the things that I wanted to touch base on, because it is DC and it is going to be affecting Batman. We did talk about the Ben Affleck Batman on HBO, and I want to just talk briefly about that because that was its own thing. One of the things that has been coming out about Warner Brothers is the thing with Ray Fisher. And here's the difficult part, and here's a difficult thing for myself as a fan and as a promoter of a comic book show, is some of the things that have been coming out about Jeff Johns, who is, I think, one of the, you've heard me say it on the show too, is that I think he's a brilliant writer, but some of the things that I've seen or heard from about what happened during the Justice League reshoots when Snyder was gone, man, it just seems almost like that's a different person. And Ray Fisher, I don't know and haven't met personally. I have met and I have talked to Jason Momoa, and this past week Jason really let out on his Instagram that he wants an investigation, that things were done during the Justice League reshoots with Joss Whedon. Man, look, Joss Whedon is done. When you have an actor that is now becoming one of the footholds and pedestals of the movies for Warner Brothers that depends on it, when he calls out Joss Whedon and Jeff Johns, man, that's something. That is something. And I've met Jeff Johns before. I don't know him too well like I know Greg. Jeff Johns was cool. He was cool to me. I can't say anything bad about the person. I haven't met Ray Fisher, but from everything that I've heard about Ray's an awesome guy. From what I've heard from mutual friends, I've heard Ray is really really cool. I have and know Jason Momoa, and if Jason comes out on this, and me and Jason at a show last year, I talked about the Snyder Cut, who he actually met later on that weekend at a hotel, and it was funny. I didn't want to hop in there. I did want to talk to Zach, but I didn't. That was not my place. That was not my place. That was Jason and Zach having a meeting and catching up, and there's just certain things that you do, and like I always said, you want to be professional in this business. You don't want to be some of the things like how you hear coming out of Hollywood, and these guys are friends, they're colleagues, and you just trust. And I think that's, for me, that's a rule in life, that if you're gonna be a person that you want to be looked at like being professional in this business, and no matter what you do, be respectful, have courtesy, and don't overshoot that respect, right? And so when Jason and I had talked about the Snyder Cut and stuff like that, I told him I never met Ray, and I don't know Ray, and he just gushed on that Ray's really cool, and really down to earth person. I trust Jason. Jason is, if you're gonna say that someone is down to earth, Jason is really truly down to earth, and he's a really cool guy. It almost seems like when Aquaman hit, I was so proud for him. I was so happy for him. But at the same time, it was just so surreal, because Jason's just like one of the guys, man. He's just like one of the boys, and seeing him become a celebrity on that fat, that's something that you want so much for someone that's so cool and so deserving of it. And more so all weekend, you want to know more about Jason Momoa, the man. Any chance he got, he talked to his family. That was super cool, just FaceTiming them, and he always does that. And you definitely want to cheer on the Jason Momoa. So when Jason Momoa comes out and calls it out and says stuff like this, man, I'm standing with Jason Momoa and Ray Fisher, because Jason wouldn't lie. This guy is a stand-up dude, and there's a thing about loyalty. And if Jason's showing that loyalty right there to Ray Fisher, man, that's when the news hits you hard, is when you know someone really close and it happens and they talk about it, man. And it's not our place. Somehow I think we get in a place where, oh man, well, we got to start judging. I mean, it's one of the things about listening to the show. It's the reason why you guys are here. You guys want my take on things, and we judge it and we say it, and just like how I talk about Gotham Knights. I got that Joel Schumacher feel, and it brings back a little bit of nightmares, right? Because Batman's leaving. Batman left theaters for a long time because of Joel Schumacher. So, man, it's so hard. It is so hard to see this and be in that position and give my take. But here's my take. If Jason says it, I'm gonna stand with Jason. And like I said, I met Jeff Johns. He was cool to me. He was cool, but that was when he saw me as like a fan. He didn't know that I ran a convention, and he didn't know the backstory of who I am. So there's a meme that's going around with Christian Bale. It says that if you don't like me, if you disagree with me, call me. oh, you don't have my phone number? Then you don't know me well enough to like me. And that's true. And that's how I feel about when judging somebody. I don't have them on my phone, and there's people that I do. And those people that I know, I just got to stand with them. And, that's going to be my take on this whole situation. But I definitely want to bring on Ben Affleck one day. I want to bring on Ben. I want to talk to him about Batman, and just want to see his feel and his take. And I don't know if AT&T or Warner Brothers, because you're talking about a lot of money and a lot of chips right now. If you think Vegas is high stakes, this is high stakes for $1 billion company. And there's a lot of things that go into the factor, but I want to bring on Ben. I want to talk to Ben. I want you guys to hear him and really just get it from him. Like I know he, people can say in the judging part about Ben Affleck, but Ben Affleck's cool, man. He's a cool dude. He's a geek, and he's just gotten to do a lot of cool stuff in his life. And when we saw him don that Batman suit, I think a lot of us Batman fans just loved it. And I know that feeling that if Ben can talk about it, he will. And if it's just coming from straight nerds, he's gonna do it. And so we're gonna see him. I'm gonna definitely try for you guys. Definitely want to try to get him on the show, and then just share the Batman goodness that we all love, right? And being immersed in Gotham City, and that's what I want to do. Is that anything that I do on the channel, I want to bring you guys to Gotham City. So I want to go ahead and leave you off with that, guys. So have a good day, enjoy Gotham City, and we'll catch you guys Gothamites later. Bye.